Welcome back to another episode of Not Average Joe and Dad. And today we'll be talking about the end of the season.
Yep, it is over. We had a pretty good run.
Yeah, but a rough start to this podcast.
Yeah, Joe likes to mumble. Welcome, but just like last time, every time. At least you're consistent. Very consistent. Yeah, we want to just wrap up the hunting season. I guess we'll just jump into it like always.
Yeah.
We'll start with last Sunday because we didn't go Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I don't know. It was actually really, really cold. And we ended up not going. But I went Sunday. You actually opted not to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd I see?
You saw?
Nothing. That's right. Saw a big old fat nothing. I sat for quite a while and didn't see anything. That wasn't last Sunday. We're going week by week, son. He's trying to jump along in the story.
I didn't know that this was the week before.
This is the last week of hunting season. What are you talking about?
Okay, whatever.
And then so Joe finally decided to go. We were trying to close it out and get Joe another deer. He's had a good year. He shot a buck and a doe, but based off his last few years, he's not happy.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, he's normal. Last year he shot 2 bucks and 3 does, and the year before that he shot a buck and probably 4 does.
Yeah, I shot like 60 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, he normally does a lot of the shooting. So we were trying to get him on some other stuff. Me and him went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we went every morning, every afternoon. So we were going pretty hard. Some long sits, some late sits, and really, I mean, you remember anything special? I think we had 0 action in the afternoon.
No, not at all.
Every afternoon.
Oh, we saw a bobcat.
That's not in the afternoon, son.
I know, but like
you're jumping ahead in the stories.
You said, was there anything special?
Okay,
in the bobcat?
In those 3, that wasn't during that time. So you need to learn to tell the story. There's an arc. There's a form to it. You go in a chronological order and then get to the peak. You're trying to jump from Monday to Friday.
I don't know when we saw it. You
should. You were there. I was there. But yeah, we didn't see anything Monday through Wednesday. In the afternoons, it was brutal. It was cold. We finally got a cold snap in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And, there's a big old ice storm in North Mississippi. We were really, really kind of missed us here east of Jackson.
All we had was a couple limbs fall.
Well, we had some big old limbs fall that actually knocked our power line down.
But it didn't knock a power out.
It knocked the power out, but the power line was sitting on the roof of the house and had a cedar tree snap out and knock a whole bunch of stuff down. Made a pretty big mess. But in the mornings, I think we saw like little deer here and there.
Yeah.
Maybe a doe at like 375 yards.
Yeah, because like if we saw deer, it'd be this this herd of like 6 of them in the back just running across.
And they wouldn't stop.
No.
And I think the only things we saw other than that were maybe a spike here or there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were closing it out because the season here ends January 31st, which would have been Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going hard. So, Joe was waking up early every morning and then we were hunting every afternoon. I mean, it was a grind for a little bit for him. And then Thursday rolls around and I said, Joe, you want to go? He's like, I think I'm going to sleep in today. I was like, all right. I mean, we've been hitting it pretty hard. So he sleeps in. I go by myself. It's cold. I say cold. I think it was in the 20s. Maybe it hit in the teens some.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in the 20s, a little light wind and stuff. But to be honest with you, I was hunting pretty lazy. We're in a shooting house. I got a nice heater, hot coffee. It's not, I'm not roughing it by any means. But Thursday happens and Joe's home asleep. And apparently that's when all the deer decided to come out. I saw does. I saw bucks. These are all pretty far away. I mean, they were 350, 300 and probably between 330 and 375 yards. And I just kept seeing deer. 5 or 6 does would go by, then 2 does would go by, and then 4 does would go by. And then there was a 5 point or a little, 6 point in the mix. And then there was a spike. And I was like, man, it's a pretty good morning. And I'm just seeing deer. And I don't remember the time. It may have been 8:15, 8:00. It was little bucks, nothing I wanted to shoot. And I'm trying to think. I think I was up to like maybe 10 deer, maybe 12 deer. And I'm sitting there, and I look up. I'm like, oh, there's a deer. And this thing was 85 yards away. And I jump in the scope. I'm like, oh man, that's a buck. And I see his G2, and I'm like, that's a buck I'm going to shoot. It happened so fast. I really didn't know what I didn't know what the deer was, but you can always tell. And when I'm looking at a deer from the side, for the most part, where we're hunting, if that G2 is nice and tall and has mass on it, I'm like that's a deer. And I didn't have time to get the camera or the phone, the phone and the scope on him. Honestly, I didn't even really try or think about it. I had to dial the gun down because I had it dialed up for for the long shot. Because honestly, that's
Yeah.
where I'd seen all the deer. And so I just by feel I dialed the gun down, and actually I was a quarter of an MOA over my zero. So I almost got it perfect. And I line it up and pull the shot off, and I see the deer jump, and I watch him actually run away, and he's hopping through the woods. And I was trying to see if he would fall or whatnot. And I felt pretty good about the shot. But so at this point, I had shot a buck. I knew he had a nice G2, but I had no idea what I shot. And then a few minutes after that, that 5-point or 6-point actually steps out right behind him, or where he was. It probably wasn't 5 minutes. It was probably more like 2 to 3 minutes. And that deer steps out and walks the same direction that the other deer ran. And then right after him, a spike walks out. And these deer are about 85 yards. And I'm like, man.
And you even said that we could have doubled if I came.
Yeah, I would have let you shot that 6-point. Of course, and to be honest with you, I was happy I shot a buck, but at the same time, I was like, yep, Joe could have shot that deer too. It was 85 yards. He could have easily done that, or better yet, we could have doubled. So it's two smaller deer were right behind this deer, and then a few minutes later, they come walking out. Well, they crossed in front of me and followed the same path the other deer went when I shot him. And then a few minutes later, they come back in front of me and then walk away from me. They walk all the way to 375 yards right down the road. And then I really get in my head. I'm like, I know what I saw, but I'm like, these are two little deer. Why would a decent deer be with the little deer this late in the season? It was kind of messing with my head. I was like, maybe I didn't shoot a good deer. Maybe I shot a little 7-point, or maybe I shot a deer I'd never seen, or I don't know. I just really kind of got in my head. Maybe I didn't shoot a decent deer. And those deer, I watched them. They walked all over the place. You could have shot that little 6-point 10 times more. But I text, Joe's mom. I was like, hey, shot a buck. See if Joe wants to come help me. And I stayed in the stand and waited on you. So, she was like, we're on the way. And she dropped Joe off at the gate, and he walked to me. And
which I have done without spooking a deer before.
Yes, that was probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
When we had even more of a ice because everything was frozen, like everything.
He did. There was a deer at 150 yards, and he walked all the way to the stand I was in and got in, and the deer never spooked away.
Fortunately, it was a spike.
Yep. So I'll wait on Joe. And I guess we should preface this. A couple of days beforehand, we had a decent 10-point pop up on camera.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a decent 8-point pop up on camera, but it was 2 pictures of each.
Yeah, that 8-point.
It was a nice 8-point.
It was pretty wide.
And they were both at nighttime. So it wasn't like we had a lot of pictures of these deer, just 2. And so I'll wait for Joe to get there. Once I see him, I get out of the stand, and I'm like, hey, let's go look. And so we walked down where I shot it, and before we even got on the road, we picked up blood. So I knew it was a good hit. Like I've talked about on here, I actually switched bullets in my 300 Win Mag. I actually had my old 300 Win Mag with me that day. And Thumper, yep. That's what we call him. And I went to 175 Federal Terminal Ascent.
Same as the 6.5 PRC.
Yep, I'm using those on both. We didn't even make it to where I shot him, and we found blood. I was like, well, let's go look at, where we shot him just to be safe. and there's, blood, and Joe started following the blood trail for me.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen lung blood. That stuff is light.
Yeah, and
It's almost pink.
well, it's been a while since you've seen so much.
Yeah.
This bullet performed extremely well.
Mhm.
I shot this deer 2 ribs back from the shoulders, and, I mean, the woods were painted. I couldn't have asked for anything more. And so Joe was on the blood trail, and we're walking, and the deer went further than I thought he would have.
Yes.
But it was still probably 100 yards as the crow flies.
And we saw one tree with blood on it.
There's a lot of trees with blood. I mean,
Well, yeah, but one with like a smear of it.
It was a blood trail that you definitely want. It was.
Yeah, it's one of those where you can walk and you can still track it instead of having to like, there's blood, where's more blood? Yeah, there's yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. And so we're walking, and then, Joe's like, well, there he is. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And he's like, that's a good deer. And I look, and I'm like, oh man, that's the 10 point. So he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And we pull it up, and it was a 10 point. It was not a wide 10 point.
12 inches.
Yeah, 12 or 13, but it had, great G2s, had a lot of mass, especially for where we're at. I mean, I measured the bases, and they were over 5-inch bases.
Wow.
He just wasn't wide. He was tall. His right side had more mass than his left side. So the side that I saw when he walked out was the heavier side. I mean, his G2s are on his right side are disproportionately large compared to the other ones. But it was a great deer. I mean, we don't really get. I can count to you on probably both hands, how many 10 points I've seen since we've been at this camp. Period. And I was pretty excited. Joe was pretty excited. Just pretty deer, and especially late season. I normally don't have a lot of late season luck. And so, yeah, we found the deer and went and got the 4-wheeler and, marked it on with Onyx. Got the 4-wheeler.
I was the navigator.
Yeah, Joe was the navigator. Came back, got him loaded up, and it was just, I was excited. This was January 29th, and the season ended on the 31st, and ended it with for me, I ended it with an incredible deer for where we're at.
And still, we don't know if that's the deer that we have on camera.
Yeah, I really don't know. Because you look at him in one picture, I'm like, oh, that's the deer that I had a picture of, and then you look at him from another angle, and you're like, no, that's not the deer. So I don't know.
And also, I just want to say I was a really good photographer, you said.
Yeah, you had a great picture because you made the deer look a lot bigger than he was. Not on purpose. It just happened to be a great picture, good angle. And what that picture did was it actually captured the mass because he is very thick.
Yes.
It just was kind of an angle that you couldn't see him head on because head on he's just not wide. But I would have shot that deer any day of the week where we're at. I would love to let deer go and grow, but
go and grow.
What'd I say?
Go and grow.
Yeah, I would like to let deer go and grow.
I know it rhymes.
But where we're at, honestly, it's just more of a pipe dream. Because this deer walked in off of somebody else's property, and in 300 yards in any direction, it's somebody else's property.
Yes.
Multiple landowners. So it's just hard. It's part of kind of hunting down south. You don't get the luxury unless you have a massive parcel of land to really do any kind of management. We used to try to do management in our camp, really strict management, and we just kind of gotten away from it. It's kind of now, especially when the kids hunt and whatnot, it's kind of like more if it makes you happy and it's legal, shoot it. And that doesn't work everywhere. And it, I kind of change where I'm at. Like if I'm somewhere that has rules, I 100% follow those. Because a lot of places you do have that large continuous parcel that you can manage on. We just don't have that. We have a spot that we can hunt, that we enjoy. And so we shoot things that make us happy that are legal. And I have no problem with that.
And like the deer that you shot, probably 2 of the antler size could fit in that Texas deer right there.
That's a different animal.
Yeah, no, but still.
Yeah, it's a different animal altogether. That deer you're looking at, it's 155 inch whitetail from Texas. That's 20 something inches wide.
That's a beautiful deer.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of say a Rankin County buck in Mississippi is going to compare. Don't be wrong. I've seen them. I've had them on camera, very few and far between. But I can't be mad. I had a great hunt, great season, and closed it out. And then that kind of lit a fire under Joe. I say it did, but then he was like, let's go hit baseballs that afternoon. So we didn't even go hunt that afternoon. He's like, let's go hit baseballs. So we went and hit baseballs and did all that kind of thing. But then he was laser focused the next 2 days. This would be the 30th and 31st, which are the last 2 days of the season. And we hunted hard. We hunted all day Friday, which was the 30th. We didn't see a deer.
No, I think we might saw a bobcat, that's all.
That's right, we did. We saw the bobcat. That was 330 yards. I tried to get on it because I was going to take a shot, but it was moving. And
before you say anything else, the next day when we come, my target buck is the 8-point because I really wanted that deer. It is wide.
Yes, it's a nice 8-point. Very, very solid, good representation of an 8-point.
Or the 6-point or the 10-point.
Let's be honest. So that was it. We hunted all day Friday. We saw the bobcat. Saturday, end of season, let's say our expectations were Joe wanted another deer and we were going to shoot another deer.
Yeah.
But the only thing I told Joe was I personally can't shoot spikes. Like it's just, I don't know. It's not my thing. So we were going to let spikes go.
Unless it was about 3 darts.
Yeah. As the day went on, our expectations got lower. But there's that nice little 6-point that's been hanging around. And I saw him a bunch. I was hoping Joe would get a shot. Of course, any doe that came out, I was going to let Joe take a shot.
Yeah, is you talking about the long, skinny, weird-looking 6-point?
No.
Well, that one was also on my target list.
Everything was on your target list on Saturday.
Yeah, but the bucks, those were my targets.
Yeah. So Saturday rolls around. This is kind of funny. So at this point, I'd been, on Saturday, this would be my 6th day to hunt in a row.
Yeah, I
Me
guess
personally.
So. Yeah.
Because you skipped a day. And so where our camp works is you have to sign in. We have a digital sign-in board. So I wake up you can sign in at 4. So I wake up at 4, I sign in. I normally nod back off to sleep and then have a second alarm. And my eyes open and I see daylight. And I'm like, oh, crap, I overslept on the last day of season. And it wasn't, I overslept, but it wasn't like too terribly bad.
You're still fired, though.
Yeah, I know. I woke up like 6:15 and we should have been in the stand at 6:15. But we're 5 minutes from camp and we jumped up. We lost about 45 minutes of first light. And we got in. I think legal shooting light was 6:27, maybe 6:30. And we were set up with the gun ready to roll at like 7:10. Maybe 7. I think we got in the stand at say 7:05, and I had the gun and everything set up by 7:10.
And that was the fastest I had ever gotten my clothes on.
Yeah, we were moving. So like, oh goodness, I slept in on the last day of hunting season. And we got there, like I said, we lost 30, 40 minutes, and we prepared for a long sit. It was going back and forth of sitting all day, but we ended up sitting until 1-ish.
12:30. 12:32 is when we started packing up.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's funny? Friday. Let's backtrack to Friday. So we're leaving Friday morning and we see deer basically in our front yard.
Yeah, 3 of them.
And what'd I tell you?
Well, we ain't gonna see anything because whenever we see deer on the way to camp, we never see anything.
Yeah, I have no scientific proof behind that. But every time I see deer when I'm driving to go hunt, it's always a bust. So we don't see anything. And as we're walking out, Friday,
we were literally almost at the truck, and I looked straight ahead on the road. I'm like, Dad, there's a deer on the road. Yeah,
so Friday morning we saw a deer leaving our driveway, and then we saw a deer getting into our truck. So that means we probably just had our hunting times off. But, So back to Saturday, last day of the season. We get there, we sit till 1.
And we can just say that we found another target for another season.
What is that?
Just keep going with the story.
Okay. I lost my train of thought. Oh, we sat till 1, decided to run home real quick, grab a bite to eat, refuel. And so we left at 1 and we were back at camp by 2, back in the stand and sat the rest of the day. Didn't see a deer until shooting light was over at 6:02.
You skipped the turkey.
Oh.
That's what I was talking about when I said target.
Gotcha. That was in the morning. That was before we left. Had a nice gobbler come out and just walk around in front of us for 10 or 15 minutes.
Like, get 375 yards.
It was at 3:30.
3:30.
But yeah, that's where my head's at, is gobblers. It's almost turkey time.
Me too. My head's squirrels, gobblers.
But yeah,
Squirrels,
so
gobblers.
it was nice to see. A couple of days before that, I had some hens come out. So we got hens and at least one gobbler floating around. But yeah, so back to the afternoon sit, we sat and, I'm praying for a deer. Joe wants one. And legal shooting light was over at 6:02. 5:58 through my spotting scope, I see a deer walk across the road.
Which at this point, we don't care what it is. We're firing a bullet if we can see it.
And when I say it's dark, like with your naked eye, you can't see down this road.
Like, you can hardly see the green of the food plot.
Yeah, you just can't see. But I pick it up in my spotting scope, and like, Joe, a deer just walked by, and Joe's getting on the gun, and it never stopped. It just walked by, and then I'm like, Joe, stay in the gun. A couple seconds later, it actually turns around and walks back, and I can tell it has horns, and it's probably 5:59. And Joe's trying to find it in the scope, and I'm actually going, meh, meh, meh. I'm trying to get it because it's walking, and I'm like screaming at it just to try to get it to stop for a second so he could pick it up in the scope.
Which I wasn't probably going to shoot it at all because I couldn't see it if I did anything.
Yeah, it would have been a bad shot, but you don't know because he wasn't able to find it in the scope. And I mean,
I told Dad next time if it walks out again, I'll just look at the spotting scope and then look through the gun and put it in front of where the deer was and shoot.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Well, it wasn't going to happen. I was just messing with you.
And the deer never really stopped. I have no idea what it was. I knew it had horns. And, it's 5:59. And if you've been in the woods at all, at 355, 60 yards, at, 2 minutes to shoot light, you know how dark that is. Like, you can't see it with your naked eye. And that was it. Shooting light hit, and that was all she wrote. That was the only action we had all day.
Yeah, besides the turkey. Which
was crazy, too, because this is one of the few days at camp. We had everybody signed in at camp, and nobody saw any deer that afternoon.
Yeah, in the morning, Mr. Head shot 2, though.
Yeah, he shot 2, but that was it. So that was it for the season. Joe didn't get on a second one, but I mean,
you'll be hearing from me.
Yeah,
don't worry.
We had a great season. We'll actually do our next podcast is going to be a kind of a hunting recap.
Yeah,
just kind of talk about all the highlights and all that kind of stuff, and as we're getting ready for turkey season.
What's today's date actually? Do you know?
The 3rd.
The 3rd of February?
Yeah.
3 more days is our 1-year anniversary.
From dropping our first podcast, yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And so here in Mississippi, season's over. But like we talked about, it's been a great season. We'll do a full-on recap next podcast, so I don't really want to get into it, but we did. We had a great season. Can't complain.
And then I had school yesterday.
Mm-hmm. We're really transitioning into baseball. We baseball yesterday. We got, Joe. Oh, Joe did get him some fresh new wraps for his bats. Your bat grip.
Yeah.
We just rewrapped Joe's bats. What are they?
They're new duck camo and vintage duck camo.
Yep. So Joe's game bat is a Rawlings Icon, which is white camo.
Yeah.
And it's actually wrapped in the good old vintage duck camo, that kind of light brown and brown pattern. So
yeah,
it's actually the same colors as batting gloves.
Yeah, which I'm probably not going to wear anymore.
No. But yeah, we're full on baseball now. I say that it's turkey time now. I've got my turkey books out to read.
It's squirrel.
I got 3 books I read to get ready for turkey season.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a mental thing. It just gets you hyped. One's the 10th Legion by Colonel Tom Kelly.
Don't you carry that coin around whenever you go hunting?
I do. Actually, a couple years ago, I was able to purchase a signed Tom Kelly 10th Legion.
I forgot that it was signed.
Yeah, and it came with a Tom Kelly challenge coin, which has his picture on one side, and I forget what's on the other side. But I do every time I leave to go turkey hunting, I carry the Tom Kelly challenge coin. And then it's A Ballad of a Turkey Hunter by Hunter Farrier. And then it's actually Hunter's other book called Any Given Spring Morning. To me, you read those 3 books and your mind's right for turkey season. And they're all very short reads. None of them are long. But it's time to break those out and start, read those again.
What we need to do some little squirrel hunting, get Mr. Steven and them to go out and just absolutely pop some squirrels.
Yeah, me and Steven already talked about taking you and Andrew out there
Really?
to get on some squirrels.
I want to use the KSG.
I don't know about that. But yeah, like I was saying, it's over here in Mississippi, but I have one last hurrah.
Yeah.
I'm going. Alabama doesn't close until the 10th of February.
Going to Bama.
And I'm going to actually make a run to Bama, hunt that property I hunted on a couple weeks ago. We're going to go back. We've had some cameras out.
You're going to shoot some scrub bucks this time, though.
Yeah, it's a 150-acre property like we talked about, and it's carrying a lot of deer. So we may be going with just a little bit of herd management just to thin out the population a little bit because it's carrying a lot of deer. So we got to kind of take a look at that and see. But I'm either going up Wednesday or Thursday, and we're either going to hunt Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday, or we're going to hunt Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come back Sunday. I don't know. But I got one last hurrah, and that'll be it for deer season.
Yeah, today I'm going to my grandparents, my mom and papa's.
Yeah, you haven't been in a while because it's been hunting season.
Yeah,
so.
and ice because y'all didn't want me to get stuck there.
Yeah, we had that, there's a threat of a torrential ice storm, and it actually ended up being really bad north of us.
Yeah.
I think some places may still be out of power.
And we finally have all the limbs picked up.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it was a lot of limbs.
I got to use my axe that Mr. Judd gave me for the first time.
That's right. You did a lot of chopping with your axe.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, I have chainsaws and all these other things, and Judd's like, I want to use my axe. So I just put him out there and let him use an axe. He was chopping stuff all up.
Which I cut up, like, everything that we burned.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's...
And the hardest part about burning the stuff was the green leaves. Because we had to burn them because we had nowhere else to put them. So we had to burn them, which they did not burn very well.
Well, yes, because they were still... A lot of them, when we were burning the first round, they were still frozen.
Yeah, first round, they were still frozen.
And so, I kind of jumped the gun and was burning them a little quick. I had to get a hotter bed of coals. That's all it was. Once I did that, they started, going up in flames pretty quickly. I say that they smoke out real bad.
Yeah, which is not very fun.
But I think that's it. I mean, I still got to cut the deer up. He's in the cooler, and we were going to do it yesterday, but ended up.
Oh, and you got your mule deer head back.
Oh, I did get my mule deer head back from Montana. I got to get him out for that. That's ready to roll. I think that's it, man. We'll I don't want to I don't want to do a recap here. I could, but our next podcast is going to be the hunting season recap. We can talk about my last trip to Alabama and then just recap the whole season because there's I'll leave this teaser. I think it was the best season of my life. And hopefully kill some squirrels in that before the next podcast. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about, but I think personally, Joe's had some some incredible seasons, but I don't really judge hunting seasons off of kills, right? Yeah. Or harvest or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to judge the hunting season off of kind of the memories made. That's really why, of course we love the food, but a lot of this is about memories and camaraderie and all that kind of stuff. And if I take all the harvested animals out of the equation, just based off of memories I made this year, the best hunting season of my life. So I can't complain. So I think the recap episode, should be pretty fun. And then after that, full on turkeys, baby. And also, it's weird that we saw a bobcat and no deer, because if you see a bobcat at our deer camp, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a bobcat. Because that's the only bobcat that we've seen in 2 years now. Yeah, and I was actually really wanting to take it because I know. Bobcats are tasty. If you're curious, you can go on our YouTube and or Instagram and watch the last bobcat we killed a couple years ago. Couple? It was a few. No, it was a couple years ago. Maybe a few, 2 or 3. We made bobcat tostadas out of it. Slow cooked, braised. I remember when you shot that one with the crossbow. A long time ago. Yeah. You were little. But I think that's it. Do you have anything else? Oh, I got new turf shoes. Yeah, they're not worried about your baseball turf shoes. I know you are. Here, I'm gonna leave this with you, Joe. What? Youth turkey season's almost 30 days away. Seriously? Mm-hmm. It normally opens March 8th. So today's February 3rd. So you're looking at 35 days till youth turkey opens. Can't wait to We're still trying to get Joe's first gobbler.
Yeah, and squirrel. I haven't gotten either.
I'm not. I'm worried about turkeys.
I know, me too.
You have any tips or jokes?
I totally forgot about this, like I normally do.
No. This is where we have odd silence that our editing software cuts out, so you won't hear any of the silence before any of this. If you don't have any, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have anything.
Here, I'll give you a joke. What do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
There you go. That's
classic.
That's a classic one.
How do you stop a bull from charging?
How?
Take away its credit card.
There you go. What do you call a cow with 3 legs?
What?
Lean beef. See? Sometimes you got to pull out the old classics. You don't have a tip?
What did the toilet say on the toilet?
This isn't going to be good.
You look flushed.
Okay. That's. I mean, you've had worse. You've had worse. You don't have any tips?
I mean, and this is 101 of turkey hunting. Make sure that you have good cover because turkeys have really good eyesight.
That's true. Here, I'll give you my tip for the late season hunting. If you wake up one morning and you're tired and you don't want to go
hunting.
Just
go hunting.
Get up and go anyway because
in
a few days you're going to want to go hunting and you can't. So I think that's all I got. We've been on for a little over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that wraps it up. You got anything else you want to say?
No.
No, tell them what they need to do.
Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We're almost at 500 subscribers still.
Yep. All right.
Catch you next time.